my desk. There's too many boxes. Okay, that's a really good problem to have. There's not too many boxes. There's just enough boxes. Cause yeah, it's package day, which means we have a lot of things to unbox here. I've like zoomed you out as much as I can, but hopefully everything is very visible. We're gonna have to get kind of a little bit more close and personal so we can really see the goodies. But I promise you, not all of these are for me. Some of them are for Monica, some of them are for Rachel, some of them I'm probably going to give away at some stage. But the fine folks over at places like Stationery Pal and Typhosi and Hubman and Chubgirl and also Archer and Olive have sent me some goodies to share with you, and I'm very excited to get into it. And super excited to find spaces in my office to house them because my office is a tip. I mean, like, it's always a tip, but right now I'm in an office transitional phase type deal. So I've been trying to reorganize, just get everything into like its forever home, I suppose you could call it. Not easy to do when you keep bringing new stuff into your office, but that's again a me problem. Let me know how you're doing. What are you up to today? Are we just hanging out together? Are you doing some journaling? Are you doing your laundry? I would love to hear about it. As you can see, I'm going to be unboxing a bunch of stuff, but I figured we would start with notebooks. An office sort out video. I was thinking about doing one, but then I realized it was causing me to like procrastinate. So I think what we're gonna do instead of a like kind of do it with me type video will be more of like an office tour once it's done because it gives me like a bit more of an incentivization, I suppose, to get in and do it. So the first lot of notebooks that we have, we'll start with the Archer and Olive ones because it's funny, they're the least colorful of the bunch, which isn't very Archer and Olive, but it just seems to be the ones that I ended up picking out and getting. So the first one is actually a bit of a throwback journal. This one's one from their Halloween collection last year. And when I saw that it was still on the website, I was like, okay, this is your moment. Because when it first came out, I was umming and ahhing, like, oh, do I want it? Like, it's really cool. I like the design. And there's got like the deckled edges, which I thought were quite interesting. I don't know how I'm going to get on with them, but it sold out. And I was like, no, oh, fine. You know, the universe has decided that it wasn't for me. The universe has decided it's not my time with this notebook. But then I saw it was back on stock. So I had to snap one up immediately because I'm like, okay, yes, the universe has decided that this is my second chance, the second hurrah. I don't know if it's still on their website, but if it is, well, run, don't walk. I mean, you can do what you want. You are your own person. But I was very glad to get my grubby little mitts on this one. You can see we've got the front cover design. We've also got the spine design here, which you can hopefully see. We've got like the key sitting along here, which is pretty cute. And we've got like the little keyhole and things. Let's see. So it's very cute. I'm very pleased to have it. It is very much like going to be more of a shelf trophy than it is a notebook that I actually use because I don't know about you guys, but I get a little bit like anxious about really nice looking notebooks. Like, oh god, I'm gonna like stuff it up or whatever, which is silly because I'm always gonna make some kind of a stuff up in my notebook. But I always worry that I'm gonna pick a use for the notebook that doesn't do the notebook justice. Let's see. Thoughts on the sneaks of the new fall A&O? Oh, we will get to that. I'm probably going to have another stream later this week to, make our shopping list like we like to do for each of their releases. But yeah, I do have some thoughts, but that's not for right now because the next notebook I got was this guy. Now, he has the same design as one of the previous notebooks that they've come out with, but the coloration of this is different. So this one is more of like a dark kind of what I'm gonna call a vintage silver and then on a kind of like green gray, whereas the original one that was released was on a kind of more true green with gold foiling. But again, very pretty front cover design. We have some spine design as well with the shiny, which is very, very nice to look at. And then on the back, we have the debossing, but we don't have the foiling, which makes sense because this side would be like against your what's this? Desk. I was like, what is this? Oh dear. Can you tell that I just woke up? But yeah, because we would usually have this cover against our desk, we don't want to like rub the foiling off or anything. So this one is just foiled on the front and then on the side. But this one isn't a kind of like your typical notebook. She's not like other girls, ugh. But this one is actually an undated planner. So if we open up on the more foiling, so beautiful. But the kind of pages of this one are set up so that you have pre-printed weeklies in here. So you can see hopefully that we've got like Monday through Friday, then a space for notes. Then we've got Saturday and Sunday along the bottom. They've also got some monthly calendars in here, and because it's undated, it doesn't specify which of these columns is for like Monday or Tuesday or anything like that. But it's a it's it's this tricky thing that, like, I like the fact that it is undated, that is fine, but then I don't like that it has, like, pre-printed headers for notes and stuff, and I also don't necessarily like that there's a very large width of space around the calendar. I would rather have this kind of width of space in places on the weekly so I could decorate, like, weekly stuff, rather than on the monthly where I feel these boxes are a little bit small for me. D I mean, I just got it. I just got it because I wanted it to be, what? Sitting on my shelf as a shelf trophy more than anything else. But in terms of, like, actually using a planner like this, I probably wouldn't I'd have to find a very specific use for it, if that makes sense. I wouldn't use this for my everyday planner, but that's because I like to make my own. Let's see. We've got comments about a 720, so I'm wondering about that because my computer has had struggles. No joke, it like just decided to uninstall my driver the other day and I had to take it to the shop and I took it to the shop and they're like, the driver's fine. I'm like, well, wasn't when I checked for it. So it's just come back from the shop. I apologize if it's being a bit of a persnickety biscuit. We'll see if we can kind of sort some things out. But we're going to share this notebook first because this is the one from Mark. Yay! And like, I am so frustrated that he has such a perfect name to make a notebook. You know, like his name is Mark. His account is Mark Your Pages. The notebook has little marks in it. The notebook is called Marked. Like it all just like works together very, very well. So we've got very nice kind of full cover design here, but it's quite subdued because I think that like going into it, he's like, I want this to be a professional collection notebook. I want it to be the kind of thing that you could take into any workplace and you wouldn't get like the weird side eye from your like dude bros who work with you in the office who are like, why are you coming in here with a pink notebook? That's ridiculous. Anyway, you do you. If you wanna take a pink notebook into your office with a giant fat daisy on the front of it, more power to you. But if you're feeling a little self-conscious, this one is a really nice kind of compromise between having a full cover design and not being like, I don't know, what's the word? I'm gonna call it frou-frou, but that's not really what I mean. So you can see hopefully in the reflection here that it does have this pattern across the entire front cover. We also have it on the spine there. Nice little kind of like foiling, and then on the back we also have more of it. But I think the most fun part about this is that he's hidden little different elements in there as well. So the one that as soon as he showed it to me, I was just like, "Oh my god, there's like a heart on the front cover right here." Can you see the heart? It's right there. Looks kind of like a double ice cream cone if you tilt it on the side. But he's also got like a Star Wars kind of moment going on, and a Star Trek moment and stuff like that. So a lot of little bits and pieces of stuff that he kind of likes and enjoys and whatever. It's kind of like a hide and seek. One of those like, you know, the pictures that you get where they're like, "Oh, yeah, find, like, the 3 bow ties and the 2 pencils," and stuff like that. It's like this. That is what this is like. So, in terms of what's actually in this notebook, because he planned it to be, like, you know, professional collection, wanted to have some pre-printed pages in here to make it a little bit easier to use if you were going to use this for, I don't know, work. Uh, on the inside cover, we have this kind of, like, holographic gold foiling, which is gorgeous. I think that it's an interesting choice to have gold, considering we've got black, but I'm not mad about it because it is really pretty. This book belongs to, excellent. And then on the inside cover here, instead of having a blank page like we normally would, we have this little table that has all these little boxes. So I think the intention was to use this for a key, but I really appreciate the fact that we don't have a pre-printed header here, so you don't have to use it for a key. You could be using this one for, I don't know, like an index, I suppose, where you write the number for each of the pages in each of these boxes and then just write down beside it what is found on each of those pages. So I found that that's very, very helpful. Uh, then we've got on this side just our dock grid paper, but we have these little markers along the side to indicate where the halfway mark is, where the third way mark is, and that's pretty cool too. So hold this up for you so hopefully you can kind of see them. Might be a little bit blown out, but they are there, the little markers. Yeah, light is bright, so I can't see any of the details on the page. Yeah, it is one of those things where I'm kind of trialing doing my streaming in my office with the window open because previously, and this is part of the reason why I've done a kind of an adjustment in my office, is that because I would have such issues with the lighting and my desk was right up against the window, I'd have to have the curtain closed while I was filming, which literally meant that I would sit in a dark office for the entire of the day, and I have the sneaking suspicion that people aren't supposed to do that. Very Hobbit hole, very Gremlin. So I'm trying to be a little bit better about having the office windows open so that I can actually have some light in here. But I'm still playing around with my lighting. It's a tricky business, but so cute little markings on the page so that we can kind of see where those divisions are. When it comes to the, I don't know, vertical divisions, the one thing to note here is that if you're actually splitting your page into 3 segments across, that's going to be 4 centimeters or 8 segments. And that means that you actually are going to want to have a box in between each of your columns. So it'll be like 8 boxes, 1 box, 8 boxes, 1 box, 8 boxes. Because of where he's put the dividers here, it does mean that you end up with 8 in the middle, but then 9 on either side. So if you want them to be perfectly equal, then it should have an additional line in there. But that's just because of like the way that I like to split my page up. If you are totally fine with having a 989, then it's all good. So this one also, fun feature, has page numbers because that is the hill that Mark is going to die on. He loves page numbers, wants them in every single one of his notebooks, but you can hopefully see, in the sense that you could barely see, that the number is just here in the corner taking up that final dot, which means that it's really not like it's not super obvious, and that means that if you don't really want them, it doesn't really matter. Like, they don't kind of stick out in such a way that makes it so that then they're, like, obtrusive or anything like that. So if you're not really a fan of page numbers, it's all good. Like, honestly, you could still get away with using this notebook and probably be quite happy because they are quite faint, but they are definitely present. I also appreciate that they're on the outer corner so that then as you're flipping through the notebook, meow, kind of a thing, then at least you're going to have, all of those page numbers there rather than some notebooks which put them in the middle of the page, which means to find a page number, you have to open up a lot more of the page to actually see it, which I think is a little bit silly. But yeah, not glaringly obvious. We've of course got like the bookmarks and all of that kind of thing. Very cute in the gold, which makes sense given the fact that we have the gold on the inside cover. But I probably personally would have preferred silver. But that's just because I'm a persnickety biscuit. So in terms of our Archer and Olive goodies, the ones that we've looked at, we obviously have Mark's notebook, the marked. We also have the storybook undated planner, gorgeous. And we also have the spell book. Now, if you want to grab yourself anything from Archer and Olive, because we love savings, make sure to use a coupon code. Doesn't have to be mine, but if you want it to be mine, then that's JashiiCorrin10 for 10% off your order. We love that. So, those ones are our stash from A&O. Gorgeous things. Do you guys have any questions about those ones in particular or any A&O questions before we move on to the next segment of our unboxing? I'm going to see if I can play around with this lighting as well so that then you guys can not get quite so much glare. All right, so I'm just scrolling over here. I'm going to close the curtain and hopefully not deafen everybody because it's quite loud. Let's see. Meow, 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 meow. Hopefully that gives us a bit better contrast and we're all happy and we can all see things. Let's see. Tink. Alrighty, do they come in different colors? Generally, A&O notebooks do, but you won't get the same design in different colors. So for instance, if you want this design of the notebook, you're not going to get this design in like a silver foil, unless they like do a re-release or something like that. Less loud than the old camera stand. Well, that's good, yeah, because it was a lot closer to the old camera stand before. Let's see. I can read the chat. I'm really good at this. First time tuning in. Awesome. I'm glad that you're here for the first time. I always love it when people manage to make it along. It's a good time for everybody. Always prefer silver, but most of them gravitate towards gold. Yeah, I like to have variety. I'm kind of a sucker for gold, especially like gold and black together. I really like that combination. But I also recognize that it's good to have silver in the mix so that people have some options. You hope they restock that spellbook thing again? Yeah, it was I think they had, like, some extra stock left over or something, and that's when I managed to swindle one up. But fingers crossed. They also have some kind of release coming out of, like, bring back the favorites at some stage, so people just filled in a bunch of surveys to say what they wanted to see back. So hopefully some of the goodies that people missed out on, we're going to be able to get some of those back in stock, and then people can grab them, so it's pretty exciting. But yeah, when the hell did the black one come out? Yeah, that one was, Halloween last year. I am so excited for Halloween. I just love to see what the designs are. I often find myself going kind of hard on fall, so I don't usually get a lot of Halloween stuff, but I foresee this year that I might go harder on Halloween. You hope they bring back the Neapolitan notepads? Yeah, I think that you are not alone in that because the Neapolitan notepads are so bloody helpful. But in terms of our next stack, this one is a bit of a fat stack. So we have 4 notebooks in this one to have a look at, and these ones are from the kind folks over at Typhosi. So they have sent me just 4 notebooks to kind of like check out the range in their collection, because when it comes to a range of notebooks, they do definitely have a range. So if you are going to go shopping at Typhosi, do make sure that you go in with an intention of what you want. Otherwise, you can totally get sidetracked and end up getting something else. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if you have, specific hopes and dreams in terms of what your notebook includes, whether that be like paper type or paper weight or anything like that, just make sure that you check those things before you hit yes, buy, add to cart, whichever button it is that makes it so you buy things. So let's see. In terms of this one, you can see that this guy is quite small, like compared to his compadres. Yeah, and that's because this one is a pocket or an A6 notebook, so a nice little guy. We've got the gold foiling on the front with this kind of like blue faux leather. Yes, it is another blue Joe, but I thought that the blue color palette looked really cute. So we've got a little flower on the side. Also, I think it's just nice to find notebooks that are A6 that have a pen loop that aren't Archer Olive ones. Not to say that there's anything wrong with the A0 ones, because I love them and I've got quite a few, but it's good to have options, right? So in terms of this little guy, we'll open it up, have a look on the inside. Crack, said the spine. Spine cracking. So we've got nothing on the inside cover, lots of possibilities for what you want to do with this space, and then it is dock red paper to follow this, which is always my personal preference. So we also have some little bookmarks in here too. No charms or anything on it like that, which means that they won't get in the way, but those are the same color as the notebook cover. As you can see, it's blending, which is quite cute. So I quite like this one. I think it's quite nice. It's got the gold foiling. So again, if like silver is more your jam, then maybe this one isn't for you, but it is quite cute. Does Typhosi have 160 GSM? It does, but not all of their notebooks are 160 GSM, which is why you need to check before you hit buy. Because some of their notebook covers, the design on the cover is so flippin' gorgeous, but the paper is 100 GSM. So just make sure that you have a look before you fall in love with a design too hard. Oh no! Typhosi is the only other company that carries A6 with non-ghosting paper. Alrighty. Yeah, no, I haven't had an A6 from them before, but I also haven't really gone hunting for a lot of A6s. But A6 is such a cute size. We already have a video on the channel on all of like how you can use A6 notebooks, but I am excited to add this cheeky little boy to my collection, so we'll put that one to the side. What's the durability like? I have found them to be quite good. I have in particular the one on the bottom that we have in this stack is one that I have used before. So we'll put that one to the side so you can see the range we're playing with now. So we've got our notebooks here. This collection that they have, which is like a kind of like, I don't know, star sign, astrology, zodiac collection. I have 2 others in this collection. I've got the Libra, which is a pink, and I've got the Sagittarius, which is a purple. Such a gorgeous purple. Okay, so if you're part of the team with a capital T, we had a video release the other week, which was 5 of my most disappointing notebooks and 3 of my favorites. One of the favorites was a Typhosi notebook. So, like, mild spoilers if you haven't seen the video, apologies. But In terms of, the notebook that I got from Typhosi, one of those was in the favorites, and it was the one from this collection in particular because it has a lot of pages, but it's also 160 GSM. It also has page numbers, I'm pretty sure. Let's open up and figure that out. I need to take this paper off, but, like, gently. Before we take the paper off, though, look at that. Look at the side dance. It's so freaking beautiful. Oh my god. Is there a Pisces one? There definitely is. They have one for all of the star signs. So I'm just gonna take that paper off politely. There we go. And politely throw it on the floor. So we have pen loop on this one. We've got the gilding, absolutely gorgeous. We have the elastic here. Look at the little scorpion. Isn't he so cute? But this notebook in particular, this book belongs to. We've got the Typhosi logo on the front cover. Not necessarily my personal preference to have somebody's logo all over the front cover, but I always stick something on here anyway, so like no harm, no foul. But getting into the pages, you can see that these ones do also have page numbers. They stick out a bit more than Mark's do, but they are still in the bottom corner, which I prefer, and the font size is smaller than some of the ones they've come out previously with. Those ones had uh, quite present page numbers. These ones, it kind of like balances the visibility and like not too in your face because you can clearly see them. So if you have like, I don't know, kind of any visibility issues or anything like that, then it's going to be a lot easier to see. But in terms of their placement, that's pleasing. And in terms of their size, I'm not too sad about it. So got the little bookmarks, two of those, same color as the front cover. We've notably got gusseted pocket in the back, so you can store all of your flat goodies. But this one is excellent. I am excited to add another black notebook to my collection. I have a lot of black notebooks, but because they're not part of the rainbow, they don't see the light of day very often. So we can put our cheeky little scorpion to the side. But yeah, lots of pages in that one, and I think that's one of the major benefits of it. In fact, I'm going to bring it back and I'm going to show it to you next to Mark's notebook. So Mark's notebook has 192 pages. So hopefully you can see roughly how large that is. This one has 256 pages, so it is decently wider. But I think that's the nice part is like if you're the kind of person who does use a lot of pages, but you don't want to change over notebooks every 3 months or whatever, then this is a fairly decent way to get thick pages with lots of pages. But we'll put that one to the side as well. Also, as we go through, I've tried to link the majority of stuff in the description box. Some of them I've linked just general websites like Archer and Olive's one because their notebooks change and what's available. That one's just like a general A&O link. Same idea with Typhosi. But for some of the things we have coming up, I've linked like pretty much every different item. Okay, this guy on camera, I swear he looks red, but in person he's more like a wine purple. So beautiful. So beautiful. Like, just not like a grayscale collection shelf. I kind of should, eh? I do have like my white and black ones together on a shelf, and I kind of call it like my, I don't know, notebook piano or something like that. But this guy here, I think it's called the Bodhi or something like that. So we've got the gold on the front, which is a very cute little simple design. And we've also got a little fleur on the side here, again in gold. But the camera just does not do the color of this one justice. I know it looks red, but it's not. I'm going to go find you like a genuinely red notebook and we're going to compare the pair. Excuse me, Zanzibar. You're not Zanzibar, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. So this guy here is a red. This guy here is more of like a purple red. I'm gonna see if I can find like a purple notebook and we can kind of compare them that way. And I might also turn the light up a little bit so that then you can hopefully see it a little bit better because I need you to appreciate how gorgeous this color palette is. Let's see. I'm gonna turn that up just a little bit. Oh, that was too much. And I know it's just like I can't obviously judge the color completely because it's gonna come like different on my screen than it is on yours. But if we compare that to a purple, so this is more of a slightly subdued version of this one. And I think that they look more different on camera than they do in person. This is like the saturated version of this. I think the biggest difference here is probably the elastic, which is genuinely different. This one's a lot more kind of pink tone than this one is in terms of that elastic. Look at this. My poor notebook. This is completely an aside, but it has a stain on it. I mean, it came like that. I'm not that sad because I'll probably end up using it as an R&D notebook anyways. Like I've got uses for it that don't really matter in terms of whether it's stained or not, but anywho. So this one again is 160 GSM. It doesn't have the 256 pages. I believe it's only 160, but they have a really interesting range on Typhosi website, so it's really hard for me to remember which one is which. But we're gonna put those guys away before I forget where they go in the rainbow, because that would be unfortunate. Slide in, slide in. There we go. So this one is definitely getting added to the rainbow. Just open it up, have a little cheeky gander. So on the inside cover, we have This Planner Belongs To with some like floral, kind of like, they look like watercolor florals. It's quite cute. And then we're into the dot grid pages. These ones don't have page numbers, but we do have the bookmarks, which are a very similar color to the cover, which is nice. You're the only person in the world who doesn't like 160 GSM paper. Well, friendo, in the assumption that you want something that's less weighty, then on Typhosi's website, they have the most, I kid you not, bloody beautiful full cover designs of the Zodiac that are only, I think, 100 GSM, maybe 120. It looks so good. And I would love to get my hands on one of those. I do not at this moment have my hands on one of those, but if you want something with thinner paper, then that would be one that would be worth checking out. It's really, really gorgeous. So in terms of and next notebook, because we don't just have three, we have four. We'll just like scoot our over here. Yeah, go and have a look. I would recommend it. So the next one that we have is this guy, which like okay. They offered to send me this one because it's not one that I'd pick out for myself, but I think that this style of like more kind of delicate and like a lot of lacy notebooks have been coming up recently and stuff like that as well. Like it's quite an interesting cover design. It is a fabric cover, and it feels like it's got a like a notebook sleeve on, or like a journal cover that you'd put on like separately from what the journal's actually made out of, which is kind of nice in a way. I mean, it's a little bit interesting, but they have a different like kind of section dedicated to these ones with a couple of different floral patterns and like colorways. So we have a blue one because blue joes just seem to be the thing. We've got thank you, you're so welcome. We're gonna put that to the side. We always appreciate a little thank you note. So this book belongs to. We've got the dot grid pages, which also have page numbers, but this one has a page number that is in a kind of serif lettering style and is also fainter than the one that we had before. So that's what I said, like, with Typhosi's notebooks, they do have quite a range, and that's because I would possibly think that maybe they're not designed in-house and maybe sourced from a variety of different people, but that also means that it's like a one-stop shop for a bunch of different styles, which means you can usually find, like, like something for everybody. Like if you're not into 160 GSM, they have ones that aren't 160. If you like page numbers, they have page numbers. If you don't like page numbers, they also have page number free notebooks as well. So lots of different ones. It's giving me granny vibes, but the good kind of granny vibes. Yeah, I think so. It like it feels like kind of vintage in a way, and the elastic on this one, I don't know if you can tell, is a lot thicker than the elastic that we have on the others. I say a lot, like, as much thicker, whatever. You can see that there's a difference, right? I don't have a ruler on hand. I've got this one here, but it's like roughly 1 centimeter for this guy versus more like, I don't know, 3/4 of a centimeter for this guy. Let's see. You got the 160 GSM Scorpio. I know, right? That one was really, really gorgeous. I was very tempted to pick one up for myself. But let's see. In terms of these ones, though, so our Typhosi notebooks. So we've got the kind of floral-esque looking pattern. We have I believe it's called the Bodhi design. Doesn't have page numbers. Still has 160 GSM paper. Looks more purple in person. And we have the Scorpio notebook from their Zodiac collection. So cute, so jiggy. And then we also had the little A6 guy. So cute. So again, Typhosi is one. We can get some savings, all right? There's a coupon code in the description box. Make sure that you use a code because, economic times. They be trying, my friends. Oh my goy. Right? We love savings. So putting our cheeky notebook stash to the side. Some of these will be going into the notebook rainbow, and by that I mean the purple one will be. Some of them will not be in that notebook rainbow in particular, mainly because I usually only keep solid colors in there. Now we are on to things that are boxed, and I think the one we're going to start with is a cheeky tink. Ding ha! Stalling much? Mm-mm. Also, do you have any questions about Typhosi or about their notebooks? Because, we're using this kind of as a little Q&A at the same time as doing our unboxing, just to make sure that you guys can, feel like informed buyers if you do choose to make a purchase. It's always good to have somebody to kind of answer questions, first-hand experience, and all of that. Yeah, love living vicariously through the whole. Yeah, very fair. I think that when it comes to stationery and stuff, I do get a kick out of seeing other people enjoying it, which is why I watch a lot of like what Erin Smith's hauls as well because she goes to or gets stuff from a lot of shops that I do also support. So it's kind of nice to see like the differences in what she gets versus what I'm getting and stuff like that, which is quite interesting. But in terms of the next one, I'm thinking we're gonna have to do a giveaway at some point, right? And I think that we're gonna do a Typhosi giveaway in particular because we're kind of getting into the end of the year where people are starting to think about their notebooks for next year and what they want to use. And I think it would be good to have an opportunity for that. We're not going to do it right this very second, but I'm going to do it today. So stay tuned. We will have an announcement for a giveaway, both on Instagram and on the channel. So make sure that you're subscribed because only people who are part of the team, not necessarily with a capital T, but only those people get to enter. That's how this world works, right? So I just used your code to get a bunch of Archer and Olive notebooks. Yay! You're enjoying the haul while you're waiting for them to arrive. So in terms of the next item, we're going to have a look at the Hubman and Chub Girl ones because we haven't looked at anything for Hubman and Chub Girl. Does Typhosi have the B6? I have not seen B6 on their website, but that's not necessarily to say that they won't get it at some point because A6 is kind of a new size for them, so maybe they'll venture into B6. I would be really happy if they ventured into Square because it would be nice to see more retailers stocking Square notebooks as well because sometimes it can be a little hard to get those. But so this one is from Hubman and Chub Girl. They very kindly sent me this box, and I haven't played around with their stuff before. I do think it's very cute. It has a very specific kind of aesthetic, right? Oh, let's see. They do have a B6 lock journal. Excellent. Alrighty, it's good to know. It's good to know that there is the opportunity on their website. I also haven't seen a B5, but then again, I could be looking in the wrong section. They have theirs separated into a couple of different spaces. They also have lined notebooks on there as well. So Hubman and Chub Girl sent me this box. They're like, thank you and welcome. You are welcome. Thank you. But they also have this little breakdown of what's in the box, which I think is quite cute. So I've got it in there like it's it's quite a sweet little card. I like that they have like a set kind of font style that they use for things as well. But this looks like spoilers, so we're gonna put that away. Very cute. But they come in these little pouches that have all of these little stationery things printed on them. I will say that their packaging is excellent. Like so gorgeous. I recently watched the self-care box unboxing by Tori of Creative Minds Coffee Grinds and it was so stinking cute. It was very much the definition of like I can't throw it away because it's a good box kind of a thing. So we're gonna grab these pieces out from these little pouches and such. Now, in the bottom here, we do have a grid spacing cheat sheet, so you can see how you would divide things up based on the notebook. I assume that must be in here, which is always helpful, always handy to have. So we've also got the horizontal and vertical ones, so that's good to see as well. Lots of different options for how you might want to space them out and what that would actually look like on the page. Also, potentially a good idea for if you want to set your own up for yourself. See how it is that you might want to set that one up. But we were gonna shuffle this little cutie box to the side. Gorgeous. Yeah. What's the coupon code? I think my coupon code is like Jashi15 or like I haven't ever had to tell people what it is, but it is in the description box, like everything else. So yeah, this one is very much like a journaling starter kit kind of a thing. So it's got a bunch of different goodies and such that you would use if you were just starting out with journaling, which I think would make a really good gift if you were trying to maybe coerce your friends to joining you in the journaling dark side. Then getting them on board with a bunch of goodies that would help them get started. This kind of a thing would be really good for that. So they are velcroed, so I apologize if your ears don't like the sound of that. But we've got a kneadable eraser. So that one's from Faber-Castell. We've got a set of Tombow mono drawing pens. So we've got a bunch of different kind of like fine liner sizes, which would be very useful. Shove that to the side. We have a pencil. And it already comes sharp. How helpful is that? So this is an HB pencil from Stettler. Nice, because I like to pencil things in first. I was like, oh, it's a shame they didn't give us an eraser. It's literally the first thing we got out of the box. You can tell how much attention I'm paying. But we have a Tombow in the N95 color, which is one of my favorites. This one is great. It's a very like pale gray, a very pale cool gray. So that's very helpful. I'm definitely keeping that. We have a little ruler, which is a 15 centimeter ruler, which has Hubman and Chub Girl on it with their little, I don't know, stationary icons. Gorgeous! And it comes in this little protective sleeve, which you would probably take it out of, but that's quite cute. Put that one there. We have, a set of tweezers, which are very good for sticker work. And given the fact that Hubman and Chub Girl does a lot of stickers, it totally makes a lot of sense to have tweezers to put things down. Very useful. I like that it has its own little case. And we also have, a brush sign pen. So this is a Pentel brush pen with like a tip. Kind of like the Tombow Fudenosuke, but just effectively a different brand's version of that brush pen. And I know that this style is very popular with people, so that's really fun as well. Do I have everything out of here? Yes, gorgeous. These little pouches are going to be the kind of things that are going to be so hard to get rid of, I swear, because they are so stinking cute. But this is effectively like everything you would need to start with your drawing in your journal. I appreciate that they've kept it quite neutral as well. Like you've got the light grey Tombow and stuff. You've just got like the black writing pens and things like that. This is a very well thought out set of items. So good job. Round of applause. Round of applause. I know, right? Not usually into cute stationery, but it's cartoon stationery. I know, this is the thing, they have a very set like aesthetic or style, and I think that appeals to a lot of people because like if you're looking to make your journal and the stuff you're putting in your journal very cohesive, then using their supplies is a very good way to do that because the styling of them is all the same. If it's not your style, it means that it's probably not for you, but it's very much the case of like knowing your target audience and what your target audience likes. So let's see. With getting cookies, did I miss a pencil sharpener? You did not miss a pencil sharpener. I think that's the only thing that's kind of missing from this because like you've got the eraser, you've got the pencil. I would prefer to see a pencil sharpener in here, but there is also, a bunch of stuff that you would need. So it's like maybe they're just going to assume that you can either purchase your own pencil sharpener or you might have one on hand already. But putting those ones back into our cute little pouch. The pouch is so cute. So putting that one over here. Erin sucked you into Hubman and Chub Girl with the raccoons. I know, right? They have like a lot of very cute like styling package kind of things. They've got like the bees. The bees are very cute. They've got like a gingerbread one coming out for Christmas as well. So cute. But don't want to hurt people. So let's have a look and see in terms of the items here. Oh look, I'm talking about bees. Sweet honeybee. We've got little washi tapes. So cute. Welcome to the team with a capital T. Such a pleasure to have you here with us. Oh yes. I am excited. To see another team member. So we've got this little pouch that we can This is the kind of pouch that I would, like, package my journal in to take it with me to, like, journal hangouts and stuff like that, so that then it doesn't get dirty. But we've got 2 different styles of washi. So we've got the bees with the honey, which is very cute, and we've also got the kind of, like, lavender with the honeycomb type thing over the top. Gorgeous. Ah, look, another. Yay! Welcome to Team Tiny Wins. It's so good to have both of you on board with us. I am excited to have you as part of it. So we've also got some traveler sample writable vinyl sticker sheets, which writable vinyl. I haven't heard of that before, but it's probably a thing. I'm just not very, I don't know, savvy when it comes to stickers. I know, right? I summoned the bees. But we've got a little habit tracker, which is a quite cute design. So we've got weekly and monthly trackers for those. And then we've also got just some kind of generic like to-dos, little shapes and stuff like that. But that's quite cute. I appreciate it when things are on theme with each other. So we've got like the purple and yellow for the tapes and the purple and yellow for the sampler sheets. Can I get this back in without doing a damage? I hope so. Ah, yes, I'm a wizard. There we go. It's all right. We got it. We got it. We struggle. Well, I struggle. You're probably doing fine. There we go. So, you have a flask now. Yay! I love seeing the flask change color as well. So like when you get to I don't know, the rainbow flask, it means that you've been part of the team with a capital T for a while. So that's always very satisfying to like see our little rainbow fleet come together. In terms of other ones we have the functional samplers. So we've got the little, I don't know, grocery bags and the little laundry sets. I don't want to take the thing off because it was so hard to get it back on. And I kind of like the idea of keeping them all together in a way because I feel like this might be one that I want to do as a giveaway. But little Netflix with popcorn, very cute. Yeah, you've been here a while. Yeah, you have. It's been a while. But the rainbow is always excellent. So we've also got some little, I don't know, cheeky little sun behind a cheeky little cloud, little scales, little kit doing some kind of like, I don't know, journaling. They look like pens. Looks like a binder. At first, I thought it was going to be some kind of like cleaning supplies type deal, but no, it is a little like journal hangs type of thing. This one we're going to leave as mostly a surprise, so we'll put that one there. We have some July stickers, which notably July is over now, but you can save it for next month. We've also got August in here. We also have just some cute little bees being cute in the back, but a lot of very functional journal stickers here, and this one has 10 sheets. I feel like this one I kind of do want to get out and share with you. So we have July, August. I'm going to put them down like this. July, August. We have the little honeybees, which would be really cute for little headers. You can't wait to have a gay flask. I love that. When my family and I play Ticket to Ride, if anybody's played that, there's the rainbow train, and we always call it the gay train. So it's like the pride flag train kind of a thing. We've got some little date dots, which is very cute. We've got a range of the you can see Scotch. Nice. Well, at least we know what they use. 3M is a good brand. We've got the days of the week, little honey pots looking very sweet. We've also got some more little honeybees. There's like plenty here. You could set up like an entire start of journal setup with these kind of things, which is awesome. Uh, more little bees. So cute with their cute little bee faces and the little sweet honeys. It's going to take me a hot minute to get this back into the into the sheet. So I, as said, haven't really used Hubman and Chub Girl before, mainly because when it comes to using stickers in my journal, I'm kind of particular in terms of what I'm looking for. But if you're the kind of person who really likes functional stickers, you like them to be, all designed nicely and printed on quality materials, like, just feeling these ones and seeing the range that they've got. I'm very impressed. When they first kind of, I don't know, snuck up on the scene, I suppose, I only saw them in the case of, like, actual journals, and, because they do actually have some actual journals, funnily enough, this is one of their actual journals, and I was curious about them, but not curious enough to, like, really go and get them myself, but they reached out and they're like, "Hey, do you wanna, like, have a look at one of our, like, sample boxes and whatever? We'd love to send you one." I'm like, "Okay, sure. Yeah, would love to have a look at it." And I'm really glad that they sent these to me because, 1, get to share them with you, which is always fun, and 2, it means that we can give this away to somebody who's gonna, like, really get a kick out of having a full-fledged journal starter kit, which I think is very cool. So This one is decorative stickers. These ones are UV resistant, waterproof vinyl. We have 3 sheets. In terms of the designs, they are different on each of the sheets, but they're all like honeybee related. But that's quite cute. Put that one to the side as well. We have little mini planning set, which has a bunch of different like decorative boxes and also little checklist kind of boxes and things like that. Days of the week and all of those little bits and pieces. And then the last part we have here is a dot grid mini journal, which is the starter size. So it's like very much that idea of trying it out and seeing if journaling is for you. But look at the little stationaries. They're so cute. We've got little Sharpie pens. We've got our Tombos and little clicky pens, like a little fountain pen. This looks like some kind of a fountain pen. I don't know what type. Microns are in there as well. But this one has what 5mm by 5mm dot grid, always the preference, 64 pages, so it is very much that kind of like trialing size, or I suppose you could use it for like a mini journal for some kind of particular purpose. But gorgeous. This one I definitely think though we're going to have to do as a giveaway because I think that it's just the perfect kind of starter kit for things. The only thing that's missing is a sharpener, and maybe I could throw a sharpener in. I'm sure I can go buy one and put one in the box. Do you think that that'd be a good idea? I just think it'd be a bit of fun. But in terms of, shopping at Hubman and Chubgirl, if you want to grab yourself something from their store, I know we have a code in the description for 15% off, which is a very generous offer. I assume that it still works. Otherwise, that would be sad. But jump over there, have a look at the goodies. Lots of very, very cute things. And it's also a really nice way to support a small business as well. Because, that gives us the warm fuzzies. In terms of getting these back into the actual box, I feel like they were in a way that was very like, securely packaged. And I probably am not going to be able to get it back in looking as cute as it was. So I'm going to just tuck that to the side for later. Do you guys have any questions about Hubman and Jobgirl? I, as said, have not shopped with them before, so I don't know if I can necessarily give you the most up-to-date information. Somebody's just mentioned that they are in New York, which is, local to some, not to me. I'm in New Zealand, but I'm very impressed. I know I already said that, but I am very impressed because I wasn't really sure what to expect because like kind of cutesy aesthetic type thing isn't something I usually gravitate towards in my journal. But I've seen Tori use a lot of their stuff, and it always looks it is pretty stinking cute. I also love the novelty of things with like that don't have faces having little faces on them, like little envelopes with faces or anything like that. Is that box available for purchase? It would make a great Christmas gift. I am pretty sure it is. I'm gonna go and have a look because I feel like that's something we should check out. I know that you guys can't see it, but let's see. They've got their self-care advent calendar, which looks really cool. Let's see. The shop, journaling starter kits and tool sets. Yes, it does seem that they have them. And the best part is, ha ha ha, they come in different styles as well. So in terms of the one that I got the journaling starter set, which is the very first one that they link on their website. So it is the honeybee themed one, but they also have other ones that are just like sticker starter sets as well. And you can specify which month you want it for, which is quite handy if you want to use that specifically to like decorate in a particular month of your journal or whatever. And they also have the starter tool set as well. So the journaling starter set comes with the stickers and the sticker bundle kind of thing that we unpackaged second, and also the supplies that we unpackaged first, but you can buy those two separately. And you can also specify which style of stickers you want and which month you want it for too. So they have the honey lavender, which we already looked at. They have a Parisian cafe. They have rainbow unicorns, vintage stationery, and woodland mushrooms. So a lot of very cute things to have a look at. Make sure though, we love savings. Oh my God. So use yourself a coupon code. Doesn't have to be mine, but we want to grab some savings because times be trying, So does anybody know what the Hubman and Chubgirl charge for shipping is to the US? I always find that the easiest way to figure out shipping to your area is to like start a fake order. Like, do it carefully. Start a fake order, put in your address, and see how much it's going to tell you that it is to ship. I often do that before I put in any of my payment details, so I know that I can't accidentally just hit like, oop, slipped, it's on its way kind of a thing. But that's usually how I do it, especially because I live as said, in New Zealand. So shipping to here is usually a little bit expensive, and it's good to be able to you know whether I can justify the cost before I start to get a little bit too like heart set on different items. But shoving this guy into the frame though, because ha ha ha, better never stops. We have this very cute rainbow box from Stationery Pal. I always appreciate that because when I order from Stationery Pal, I order a decent chunk of stuff because I figure like, if you're gonna pay shipping or whatever, you might as well uh order quite a bit of things. Always comes in a nice box, which I very much appreciate. But we're gonna tink. Gotta make sure that we stay hydrated, otherwise ridiculous. Opposed to, "Oops, slipped in. Oh, darn, yes, all the things I wanted are now accidentally en route." Yeah, literally that. Mm-mm. Yeah, I just find that, especially on the kind of websites where you add more items, your shipping goes up. What I will do, especially before a release, is, effectively set up, like, a fake order. So if I know, for instance, that Archer and Olive is having a release this week, if you didn't hear, they're having, a release this week, and I know that, like, I'm gonna get X number of journals or whatever. I will literally go set myself up an order with X number of journals. They don't even have to be the same journals because they're probably not gonna change their shipping prices between now and Friday, kind of a thing. So I will go and add the correct number of journals and the correct number of the like right types of I don't know extras and whatever, so that I can get an appreciation for how much shipping is going to be, so that I can I don't know cry myself to sleep and get over it before I put my order in. Because I'm still gonna order because that's how I roll in the Shire. Let's see. Just popping in to say hi. Hi, Holly. So I'm gonna open this guy up. Um, oh, always very cute packaging in this one. I have so much of this bubble wrap now because I just feel bad throwing it away because it's literally purple hearts, guys. Like I can't get rid of that. That's ridiculous. So gonna I don't know try to gently open this one up. Eh. I've literally had this sitting here for the entire of the stream just so that I could do that because I knew it was coming. Now, one of the things that they also do is, along with adding, bonus bits and whatever, there's always the confetti, and I always manage to get it everywhere. So I'm really gonna try to make sure that that doesn't happen. Um, We've always got like little thank you card. We love a little thank you card. Very cute. Your Hub and Chub Girl order of 100 US had shipping of 5 US. That's not bad. Okay, you guys have to let me know. Are you the type of people who it's like you're maybe $10, $15 off the free shipping amount and you're just like, "Oh, I gotta get up to that amount. I have to get up to the free shipping amount," and you just start going and like adding other bits and pieces in when the shipping wasn't even $15. Like the shipping was like $7 and you're like, "No, no, no, I need free shipping, so I'll go and add $15 more into my cart." Like, I am that person. I am the person who does that. But now, as said, in this order, not everything that has arrived is for me. As said, we're probably going to do a giveaway with the journal starter set because I think that that'd be really cool. And also, when it comes to this box in particular, this is one where I hit up Rachel and Monica and I was just like, "Hey, do you guys want anything? Do you guys need anything?" Because it's nice to share the love. So some of these items are for me, some of them are for them, and some of them are the kind of little bonus bits that Stationery Pal likes to chuck in with their orders. One of those is Squash Teddy. Squash Teddy is always a bonus from from Stationery Pal. Poor Squash Teddy. He's looking slightly better than usual, but he does look a little bit, I don't know, alien because his head is like squashed backwards. He's looking a little flat, but it's okay, Squash Teddy. Squash Teddy also comes with a cute little hat that doesn't actually fit, but it's still kind of cute. I'm probably not going to keep Squash Teddy, but we can appreciate that he was here. Thank you, Squash Teddy. So put Squash Teddy to the side. We also have a little keychain with a little astronaut. I have so many of these kicking around my house now, though, because I do tend to save them and put them on keys. But it's gotten to the point where I have so many astronauts now that I don't remember which key is for which astronaut. So this will probably get given away as well, but it is very cute. We also have a airbag cell phone bracket or a pop socket. So this one is a fat little bear, fat little bear pop socket, which is kind of cute. Yeah. Let's see. All my Stationery Pal toys have a little opening with stuffing coming out. Okay, so we got to the bottom of this because that happened on one of my orders as well. The reason that they have a slit in the back is so that you can shove Lucky Charms in them. Not the cereal. That would be a weird choice. But the idea is that you can Squash Teddy doesn't have a hole in his back. We're going to use Squash Teddy as an example. So you would get like a little kind of like Lucky Charm or like a talisman, and you'd shove it in to the back of the teddy and then sew it up so that then it would be like a little lucky teddy. I think that that's something that I don't know which Asian culture it's from, probably from the place that Stationery Pal is based. But that's the idea that you're supposed to use them because I literally thought that somebody had like ransacked my box and like opened up all of my little toys to try and like, I don't know, find drugs or something. I was worried. But the kind people in the comments let me know what that was about because yeah, I was like, what the heck happened to my toys? Who's coming up here like manhandling my toys? But we have a cute little thank you card. Always appreciate that. So we can put that one to the side. And we've got confetti. Whee! Confetti! We're going to put all of that in the recycle bin before I accidentally get it all over my desk. This is going to go so badly. I'm trying though. I'm trying. And we're trying also not to grab any items while we're doing this because that would also be kind of sad because they are very intertangled with each other. Oh no, oh no, no, no. What a mess. What a mess. Okay, I think we're good. There's still some confetti in the box, but there we go. Valid attempts were made. So, the TSA Teddy scandal. I know, right? That's literally what I thought it was going to be. But Squash Teddy is a drug mule. He lives on the wrong side of the tracks. But here we go. See, this one, right? It's got the little slit in the back so that you would literally grab, your little talisman type thing, put it in there, and then sew it up. Because, yeah, I was like, why do all of my little Squash Teddy things have something going wrong with them? I'm going to take that out because I don't think that's very pleasant. Sorry, friendo. So, going through and having a look at all of our other bonus bits. Now, we have a little clip, which is kind of cute. And we've got another little keychain, which is another little astronaut person. So, another one that I'll probably give away because I have so many of them now. We have another little hat for Squash Teddy. So, love, so cute. There we go. I'm not the kind of person who likes shrapnel. That's what I call these kind of things, like the little kind of like cutesy little bits and stuff like that. I don't use them, so I usually just give them away. But one of the ones that I keep every single time without fail are the little ducks. I kid you not, I have a fleet of like 30 little ducks in my bathroom and I love adding to it. Sometimes they send me a gangster duck, which has like a little bandana type thing. So we've got one that's blue and one that's red. So they're kind of like, on opposite sides of the bathroom, just being like, nah, this is my space. Don't step to me. But the little ducks I always keep. This one is a little ghosty glitter duck, as you can see. Excellent. I'm not going to squeak it because somebody told me off once and I learnt my lesson. But I really want to squeak it. I'm not going to, but I really want to squeak it. So, let's see, other bits and pieces. I'm going to grab all of them out of our box so that we can put the box to the side and not have confetti all over everything. And we're going to have a look through these items individually. Now, I have been given the go-ahead to swatch pens for you. My good friends told me that it was okay to swatch them on stream for you so you can see what they look like. But we'll grab all of these pieces out so that then we can do this in a much more organized manner. Things, bits and pieces. Oh my god, get out of here. Bloody confetti. But I think that when it comes to Stationery Pal, I usually use them for topping up my basics. So things like getting my Tombos, because I haven't been able to find them cheaper anywhere else. Getting things like my black writing pens and stuff like that. But I also buy like full pen sets from them. So, for instance, when I decided that I wanted the zebra click arts, I got all of my click arts from them. When I decided in this haul in particular that I wanted the vintage Sarasa, what are they called? The Sarasa Dry or something? I got all of them from them. So, put that box to the side. Try not to drop confetti all over the floor. Squeak, squeak. Just want it and then squeak it. The problem is that if people aren't near their computer and they have like animals or something and I squeak it, I'm still going to get an angry comment. It's Monday. I don't have time for that. So we have a bunch of highlighters. We have a little, I don't know, organizer type thing for cables in a tiny bag. Give me it. So this one is one that has a sticky pad on the back. So you peel that off, stick it to your desk, and then you just run your cables through it. I have one in my office. I wanted one for my bedroom, so I got one. It was like 30 cents. I'm like, heck yeah. You need to see me squeaking all of the ducks. Oh my gosh. I think they all squeak in the same tone though. It would be great if they squeaked at like a different note, and then we could do like a musical item with the squeaky ducks. But in terms of items that we have here, trying to think of like what order to go through. So this is one you've seen on my channel before because I absolutely love this tape. I already have 3 rolls of it, so this one is not for me, but this is a like vintage world map washi tape. I use it in my reading journal a lot because it just makes for very nice easy decoration. So if you're wanting to see what that kind of looks like, I'll just grab the reading journal out because it's right here. Let's see. We'll go to the page that has a decent chunk of it, possibly. Do we have a page that has a decent chunk of it? You can kind of see it in the corners here. So like some up here a little bit, and then some here, some here. Yeah, you need to see the duck army. I'll see if I can send a picture through on the Discord or something. So if you're not part of the Discord, make sure to join our Discord. There should be a link to it on my channel. But I usually just use it in the corners to decorate my journal because it's just like nice, easy decoration. But that one is not for me. That is for a friend because, as said, I already have 3 rolls of it, so I don't really need any more. But one that I also probably don't need another one of, but I don't care because I love it, is this guy. So this is a soft ring notebook, and it's literally just used as a scribble book. I use mine very often. Just to take down scribbly notes or often do videos on the channel. So this one was like when I was doing some migration processes. This one was doing, again, some migration, writing out a list of things to do, planning my stream for the summer creative retreat, practicing Zentangle work, dashboard layouts, planning a new journal. Like I use these a lot in my streams just to do messy kind of notes, stuff that don't necessarily need to happen in my actual bullet journal. And the thing is like I'm not usually a fan of ring-bound notebooks because the rings get in the way. But as said, this one is a soft ring notebook. So all of these rings are super flexible, which means that if you're left-handed, it's really nice for you because as you start to write on the right-hand side of a spread, your hand can very easily sit on top of this. So I'm very pleased to have another one of these. Excellent notebooks. And again, it's like nice and cheap and it's just, for scribbling and stuff like that, which means we'll probably do our pen testing in there. So I'll bring back the old one so that we can do some pen testing. There we go. So as I mentioned, when it comes to the way that I like to use Stationery Pal, it is typically to stock up on my basics. So some of the basics that I have are an N95 Tombow, which is that light grey that I really like. Also an 990, because this is the one that I primarily use in my reading journal. So I go through these quite quickly. So having those pretty important. I also nabbed an N89, which is soon becoming my favorite grey because it's like a soft grey that's a warm grey tone as opposed to a cool grey tone, which is the N95. So together, it's like our powers combined. Haha, we can rule the light grey galaxy or something. These two, excellent. Love it. Is there a video that explains what Discord is and how to use it? There are, but I haven't made it. Discord is effectively like a cross between a Facebook group and a forum, I guess. It's quite intuitive once you get into the swing of things. It's just actually like, the initial step into it. It can be a little bit daunting. But the people there are very friendly. We would love to have you there with us. All right. It's free for anybody to join, and it's a great place to just hang out, share journaling stuff, get excited about, stationery and things like that. Let's see. You would love to see the N95 and N89 swatch side by side? Alrighty. Sure. We can do that. Highlighters, not for me. Can't remember whose these ones were. I think they might be Monica's. And then these highlighters are for Rachel, so we'll swatch those ones. Rachel also nabbed a set of the dot markers, but in particular the metallic dot markers. I'm not going to swatch these ones, but I will find my versions of them and swatch them so you can see them. Just because I don't want to open her dot markers. I don't mind opening her highlighters, but that one just feels weird. And then I have been finding that these Sarasa pens are quickly becoming a favorite of mine, which is strange because, I'm usually a diehard fan of my Papermate Inkjoy, but I don't have the full set of the vintage Sarasa ones, so I bought all of the ones that I was missing. Mainly these two, and then I think 3 of the ones in this packet, and it was just easier to buy the full packet. So we will also swatch those. They're so good, eh? And I love the vintage color palette as well. Yeah, I think the highlighters are all for me. No. I'm pretty sure that they were for Rachel, right? Or maybe I'm talking schmack. Stuff it. We're gonna swatch them anyways. So let's see. We will start by swatching because there was a bunch of other pens that I got as well, like a Mark On, which is my new favorite writing pen for my new journal. A Sarasa Speedy, which is supposed to be like a fast drying pen as well. Those ones were the Sarasas. This one is a Sarasa Dry Drift Grip. It's supposed to be comfortable. I'm like, okay, sure. I'll try it out. We'll see how it goes. And then also just a Tombow double-sided tape because mine was running out. So I'm like, might as well use it as an opportunity to grab some basics and stuff. And then the last one that I got, which we will certainly look at, is this guy. We'll look at it more in a second after we do our swatching though, because this one I'm actually quite excited about. So, swatching, yay! Now, we had the request of the 95 versus the 89. I'm just going to swatch the ones that I already have rather than the new ones, just so you can kind of see what the difference is. And we're also going to zoom you in just a little bit. Whee! And for the purposes of not having the focus go in and out and in and out, we will also set that. But while we're doing our swatching, do you guys have any questions about, Stationery Pal, anything like that? So this one is going to be really hard to see on this type of paper. I might have to swatch this one in particular on white paper so that you can better see the difference. So I'm going to go grab some white paper for you. Whee! If I can find my white paper because my office is a bloody mess. There we go. Because this paper here is like a very pale ivory, which does make it quite pleasant to use, actually. Let's see. Currently drawing out next week with a slightly shiny Sarasa. Nice. Let's see. Do the Sarasa pens replace the Microns? I would not call them replacements, only because they are a different type of pen. So the Sarasas are a clicky, like a ballpoint pen. Clicky, clicky. There's a little red nubbin there. Whereas the Microns are a fine liner. So the Microns are really good for doing work where you want it to be like waterproof and such, whereas the Sarasas are more like a writing pen, I would consider them to be. There we go. So we're just going to pick up a pen that I already have used because 89 in 89, this is in 95. Now, at first glance, you probably can't tell much of a difference. Yes, I did set the thing there. There we go. But there is definitely a difference, especially when you start to do it in bulk on your page. So the 95 does have more of a kind of like blue tone, whereas the N89 has almost more of like I'm going to say like a brown tone. It's not quite what I mean, but hopefully you can see that there is a slight difference there. I find that which one I use very much depends on what the other kind of decorative elements on my page are. So if I have a more warm color palette, a lot of like browns and oranges and reds and stuff like that, then the 89 is usually what I gravitate towards. And if I have a lot more like cool tones of like cool blues, cool greens, purples, and that kind of thing, the N95 is what I'm gonna go with. I mean, you can technically have, like, a cool red and a warm blue, but it is kinda like just like a play around and find out what your preference is type deal. Question is, where is the Discord link? The Discord link is easiest to probably get to by going to the main channel page because it'll be linked in the links on the main channel page. I don't think I have it in the description box of this video in particular. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure somebody who's got a blue name could probably link it to you. Otherwise, going to the channel itself is the easiest way. So, yeah, N95 is a putty color, in your opinion, if that helps. Nice. I really like it. I think that it's a very good color for being subdued. Doing like a second line highlight, it's great for that. It's great for a second line highlight. Um, in terms of what it looks like underneath a colored pen, and by that I mean a what's this? You're not a colored pen. You're just pen. Like, so there you go. Wednesday. There we go. And Wednesday. I typically write in black, which is why I'm writing in black on top of here. Excellent. Thank you, Monica. There's a link to the Discord. So in terms of like the saturation level of these, I would not necessarily be like, oh, the N89 is darker or anything like that, because it kind of does look a little bit darker in terms of this. But I find that they are very similar in terms of their saturation, especially when they're both brand new. So pretty decent. We will put that one to the side though, because we are now going to swatch the Sarasa clip pens. Now, I don't necessarily know the names of these ones because they're written, if at all, in Japanese. So we're just gonna take the little nubbins off of them, kind of aggressively, making sure that they go in the bin, not on the floor. Thank you, ma'am. And we're just gonna write hello. LLO. So this one is kind of like a black, but more of like a green kind of black. And then this one is a dark gray, which looks kind of like a blue kind of gray. I'm trying to make sure that I don't have the autofocus turned on. These ones I feel like I want to keep in order just so that I know what color is what. But they've got the nubbins. The nubbins. Hello. Put that one back in there. Bit cute. Go with mandatory sound effects, of course. Otherwise, what are we even doing? Very good. This one is like a kind of brown type color. So if you're looking for super punchy, vibrant colors, then the vintage set probably isn't for you. But I have found that I very much enjoyed it in terms of doing headers, where you want the header to stand out in the sense that it looks a little bit different to the rest of the page, but you don't want it to be like neon or anything like that. I find that neon colors are kind of hard to look at a lot of the time. Hello. I used a blue one of these. I can't remember which blue in particular it was in my health journal that I'm using for my health related goals. Yeah. You bought the whole vintage set too? Yeah. I don't know how I got the first ones that I got. I think I must have gotten it at Go Wild or something like that. But I had like an eclectic mix of the colors, which was fun, not frustrating at all. Because then when it came to buying the rest of the set, because there are 10 colors, at least from my understanding, it meant that I had to buy this pack for the majority of them, but then 2 other ones as well, because it was like 2 separate things. Excellent. See, you remember. I don't remember where I get any of my stationery from. So having a look at the colors we've sussed from here, we'll just zoom you in by bringing you closer to the camera. So hopefully you can see the color range we have here. We've got like a little kind of subdued rainbow, which is great. You like them so much that you have both of the sizes. Nice. Yeah, I in particular went with the 05 size for these ones because that's the size that I've been writing with, at least in terms of like my my mark on at the moment. I think the idea behind the mark-on is that this is the pen that you can write with and then highlight over the top of, and it doesn't smudge, in theory. I don't typically tend to do that anyways because I just don't like to risk it for the biscuit. I would rather just do my highlight first and then write over the top, which is usually how I like to do things. But in theory, that's how you can use it. This paper, though, is coated, so I'm not going to try that on here. but I'm sure you can find some pretty good review videos online that actually look at that as a feature. I totally forgot to swatch the 990 because that was also a pen color we had. So I'm gonna find you a 990. Where is he? Swatch him as well. There we go. The light brown color. So this is the color that I typically use in my reading journal. We'll put it on the white paper as well, so you can get an appreciation for that. That one is the brand new one, the one that just came in the box as well. So nice and like, I don't know, saturated, wet, quote, quote. For the sake of completeness, we'll put this on here as well. And that is 990. These ones are some of my favorite Tombow pens in terms of doing the second line highlights and stuff like that, where it's visible enough that you can see that there's a difference between each line, but not so visible that if you completely cock up your lines and make them super wobbly, it's like not that noticeable. That is always going to be my preference. So nice. Love this. It's odd though, because this one started running out and I did not have it available, I started using the not N, come on, 942, which is now also become kind of a favorite. It is a different color, but it is the one that I'm currently using in my journal. And by like first look, it's like, oh, is it a different color? It doesn't look that different. When you actually color them next to each other, it definitely is, which is problematic because sometimes I pick up the wrong pen and then I put it down. I'm like, well, that's not the same. Weirdness day. So I think it's slightly more red tone. I think you can possibly kind of see that it's slightly more red tone. It's probably hard to see on camera, but it is a little bit different. But yeah. Whee! What do you do on your weekly planner? I don't typically use weeklies so much anymore, but my little weekly dashboard that I have literally just has a priorities list of things that need to get done across the week, a meal log or plan, depending on how I'm feeling in the week, which literally just lists dinners at the moment, and that's it. It's just those two sections. It says the week number, it says the priorities, it says what I plan to eat for dinner. And then I get straight on into my daily lists and write things down in there. It's quite similar, simple rather. So let's see. Think. So I'm thinking the next thing we're gonna swatch are these guys. I'm checking whose these are because now I'm curious. We have a Stationery Pal order. This one in particular, which is the creamy color highlighters. Okay, so these two are the creamy color highlighters, these block ones, because we have two different highlighter sets sitting in the description box. So these ones are the sets of 6, all right? Funnily enough, there are 6 pens in them. And this one is for Rachel and or possibly Monica. I think that we technically had 2 people order 2, and I don't know if I added both of them to the order. So there might be like a little fight to the death moment over these. But we see we have 2 different color sets here, or 2 different colorways. I'm going to attempt to open this carefully somehow. Apologies when you get this and the box is all like shanked up because somebody couldn't open them carefully. Oh no, oh no. They're very stuck in there. Let's see. Yeah. Does it need the struggle noises? Yes, that is obviously the most important part. But in terms of the color sets, they have 2 different colorways. So they've got one that's called sweet and one that's called salty. I do not know which one is which, but I've linked both of them in the description box. And they're kind of like, well, as you can see, they're square colored. Square colored. Come on. They're square shaped. So I'm not too sure how comfy they're going to be in terms of writing, but they have a chisel tip because, I mean, it's a highlighter, so that kind of makes sense. Oh, okay. I was expecting the chisel to be, you know how you get some of those highlighters, especially the ones from a kind of more budget brand, and they are very solid and scratchy. These ones are actually quite soft. The color on the barrel of this versus the color on the tip is an interesting like point of difference, but ooh, nice and subdued. Very cute. Yeah, can't get that one back in. Too much struggle. There we go. It's close enough. We have a purple color. We love it. I do wish that these were in rainbow order, but we're just working our way through the box. Yeah, I don't know, I was very skeptical as to how good these were going to be, but I'm actually kind of impressed with them. I don't think I need them because I don't use highlighters in my journal like ever, but it's a nice subdued color palette with a softer tip than I was expecting compared to how it originally looks. So if we kind of have a look at the tip, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it looks like the kind of tip that would be very rigid and inflexible, but it actually has enough flex to it that it goes down on the paper quite nicely. So I I do know this about myself, is that when it comes to anything new, I am a bit of a skeptic. Like, we've talked about previously how when I first saw the washi tape shop and some of the things they had, I was like, how good are these actually going to be? And then they arrived. I'm like, okay, these are actually great, and I should not have judged them so hard. Same idea with these. When they arrived, I was like, oh yeah, they're kind of cute. They look like dollar store highlighters kind of a thing. Like, again, I'm just being a bit of a hater, but they're actually quite nice. So, well, that brown color is quite nice too. So, in terms of our color palette, it is quite soft, very pastel-esque, which I know that a lot of people do enjoy, like that kind of a thing. In terms of like the saturation on that last one, it's more saturated than the 990, but it is still fairly soft, which is good. So these ones in particular, I can't tell you which colorway it is, but these are the set of 6 highlighters that are in the description box. There are 2 links to them. But there's like a highlighter set of 6 that's salty and a highlighter set of 6 that's sweet. We have both of them here, but I don't know which one is which. So we will put these ones back in somehow. It might be one of those like do this later kind of jobs, because this is not the most straightforward thing to do. You're gonna have to like feed them through from the top and the bottom to get them back into the packet. I recognize you cannot see what I'm doing, but those ones are the first set of 6. We'll put them to the side, and then we will get on to the second one. Let's say it looked like it would be nice for a second line highlights. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, is that if you are the kind of person who finds the chisel tip easier to deal with, especially with the second line highlight, then it could be a good option for you. I personally prefer using a brush tip for mine, but that's just because I find it easier to like get the line looking consistent, which is interesting, especially because like technically you apply different amounts of pressure, then it does come out like different widths, but I still find it more straightforward, I suppose, personally. But let's have a look at these ones. So similar idea again, we've just got the highlighter tip, and we're going to put a line of separation there. So this one is a bit more punchy, but a nice kind of pink color. Not going to get that the whole way in. Not until the end. This one is another pink style pen. So while the last one was a lot more rainbow, this one feels very much like just sitting in the pinks and purples and blue kind of realm more than anything. So we've got another kind of like salmony pink, kind of like more of a red tone pink. This one we've got kind of like subdued purple gray, which is quite nice. So if we compare this to something like a mild liner, say, because mild liners, like, it's literally in the name that they're supposed to be mild, I feel like these ones have achieved mildness better than the mild liners have. Like, I can't tell you anything about the longevity of the pens, because obviously this is the first experience that I'm having with them. But if you are in the realm of pastel lovers, people who enjoy pastel color palettes, then I think that these actually do pastel better than the mild liners do in some case. So that's kind of cute. Let's see. Yeah, you like how large they highlight. Yeah, I think that's also the thing, is like it covers the 5 millimeter line quite nicely as well, whereas some highlighters don't make it the whole way whole way across. And I feel like I could probably, they're not mine, so I'm not going to, but you could probably apply a little more pressure and get a bit more, I don't know, contact on the page and stuff as well, which would also help you in terms of making that line or the stroke of the line a little thicker. So that's pretty good. Two colorways, like we said. So second colorway was this guy here. First colorway was that kind of rainbow set. But I think that I'm impressed. I'm impressed with these. And I'm sure that the person who they belong to is going to be impressed as well. So I'll put those ones to the side because the next set of highlighters, this one is all Monica's. And they come in sets of 4. So we've got the A, B, and C is effectively how they're written on the website. But we're gonna keep them together. I cannot tell you which one is A or B or C. So apologies for that, but just go and have a look at them compared to the website, and you can hopefully figure out which one is which. Now, this one has like a punchy blue in it. I'm trying to see what the easiest kind of differentiator is between each of them. So the easiest differentiator for the first set is probably this kind of purple one. It's got like a purple, a green, a blue, and a pink, but the purple is probably the most different compared to the other sets. So let's have a look. These ones have an interesting barrel shape because they're square but rounded. That's helpful, right? Can you kind of see what I mean? Like it's got this like almost twist looking thing. I know that the camera's having a hard time, but this is kind of like weird looking twisted bullet type deal, but a little interesting. We're gonna test these ones out as well. So pulling the lid off, in terms of like cap to pen ratio, the cap is a good third of the pen. Good click. But we can put this one down here. That was a little bit cattywampus. Completely my fault, not the pens. But again, it has that chisel tip that looks like it would be a lot more rigid, but is actually quite soft when you put it down, which I am impressed with. Whee! I should have given myself more space to work here. Go away, pens. I'm trying to work here. These are on your wish list, and you're definitely jealous. Nice. Yeah, I hadn't seen them on their website before, so I don't know if they're new or I just wasn't paying attention. That is definitely darker, like a lot more punchy than the ones we've had, but it's a very pretty color. There we go. We've got a green tone here. So if you're looking for pastel, then the pastelish ones are very much the other set. These ones are a lot more kind of, I don't know, saturated, I suppose. But these ones are the sets of 4. So like we said, there are 2 different like kind of highlighter packs in the description box. 6, 4. Okay. So the 4 packs are the ones that, so far at least, are a little bit more saturated. And this set in particular is the one that has the purple. So the purple, the blue, the green, and the pink. But putting that one to the side, we're going to have a look at the second set. And I think that the thing that is the most kind of like the way that you'd kind of identify them, this one has the punchiest blue, at least in terms of the barrel of the pen. So I don't know if that actually translates to a punchy color on the page, but we're going to have a look. So put those ones here. In terms of that punchy blue one, we'll see how punchy you actually are. Funnily enough, not as punchy as I was expecting. This one does give me kind of Mardliner vibes in terms of the color, but we'll have a look at the other ones. That's a pretty color as well. It's like a dusty rose, which is quite nice. This one here looks mint, at least in the packaging. Yeah, I would call that kind of a subdued mint. I think that the color palettes that they've got are kind of interesting because, like, if I were thinking to use pens together, I would not use this palette together. It's not my personal preference. But that one's kind of like a soft yellow, like a, a subdued yellow brown or a yellow gray brown. But it's kind of cute. Let's see. How does that pen shape feel to grip? It's not uncomfortable, but I also haven't been doing like, I haven't had to hold it for a very long time. So it would be the kind of thing that like I would not necessarily be inclined to I don't know, I don't really use highlighters, so it's hard to say, but given the fact that the shape of the pen is so odd, it's not uncomfy. I'm also the kind of person who holds my pen like this, So like 2 fingers on the bottom, 2 fingers on top, and then this guy here, which is not necessarily the way most people hold their pens. I know a lot of people hold their pens like that with like 3 on the bottom, 1 on top. So for somebody who holds their pen like me, which is like every finger on the pen possible, which is not like that, it's just 2 on top, 2 on bottom, it's not uncomfy, but I can see that it possibly would become more uncomfy the more you hold it, especially because the actual barrel of the pen that you're holding is quite short, like this length here, unless you want to put your bottom fingers on this part that would sit underneath the cap, which is a little bit narrower. It's kind of hard to explain. Hopefully, you kind of get what I'm saying here, but in the hand, as it is, it's not uncomfortable, but I would probably prefer the pen barrel to be a little longer if I was going to have this for sustained use. In terms of colors, this looks more purple than this pen does. Not mad about it because I like purple, but does the cap fit on the end? Good question. Let's see. No. Absolutely not. It definitely cannot be posted, unless you get tape out, but that would be an interesting choice. So yeah, in terms of the length of the barrel and the amount that you can use to hold stuff, it is kind of set. You can't use the cap of the pen to extend the length of the pen, but little kind of like dark sage kind of looking color, which is pretty cute. And then we have this guy here, which is another kind of rosy pink type color. So we do have, like, across the sets, there doesn't seem to be like a big overlap in terms of the palettes between the two types. So I think that, like Monica said, these are both for her, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that there's huge overlap in terms of the colors. Like, we have some that are maybe a little similar in terms of hue, but in terms of the way it actually looks on the page, they do look different. So that's kind of cute. Not too shabby. I was impressed by these. Like I said, I was expecting for the tips to feel very scratchy and hard just based on first appearances, but they actually flex quite nicely and go down quite soft. And I think that if you're looking for something that's subdued, then the set at the start with the 6 set is probably the better one. If you don't mind things that are a little bit more like saturated but still muted in a way, like they feel muted compared to, super vibrant kind of colors. Quite nice. So when I say like vibrancy and muted and stuff, if we go with a purple, say, like this guy here, like this purple is more saturated than that purple, like slightly different color. So, take it with a grain of salt, but it does look a little bit different. Cute. All right. So, like I said, I don't want to open these ones because they're dot markers, and dot markers are a little bit expensive, especially if you're buying the Zig ones. So, I'm going to get out my versions of those dot markers and I'm going to swatch them for you just because I think that it would still be nice to see what they look like. We can just swatch the ones that I already own. Now, can I find my pens? Like trying to rearrange everything in my office. So I have at least what is currently the full set of the Zig Clean Color dot markers. I got all of mine from Stationery Pal as well. They're brand name pens. They're not just like rando pens or anything. But I think all of the metallics are probably sitting at the bottom because they are the ones that I use the least. But we can get those out. There should be 6 of them because I'm using the blue. Where is it? There we go. So in terms of these ones, the thing that I quite like about the dot markers, or these ones in particular, is that they are double-ended. So hopefully you can see, we've got the cap on one end, which has the dot, and then the cap on the other end, which has a kind of small fine liner type ones. So we've got red, yellow, green, blue, purple, and silver. And the nice part about them having those double ends is that you can use the dots on the page, but then you can also use the fine liner kind of tip for headings and stuff. So mine seems to be coming out a little bit. No problems. Hello. And then we can do the dots. You can do a little one, medium one, big one. And because these are the metallic ones, I am pretty sure this works on black paper as well, because it's kind of like a gel ink. And put a little dot. There we go. Dot, dot, dot. These ones do take a little second to dry, especially for those larger dots, so be careful. Don't smear your ink because that's not fun. Uh, as said, I don't necessarily use the metallic ones very often. I don't find a lot of need to use metallic in my journal, but I do use the ever-loving heck out of the regular ones. It was one of those things that when they first came out or when I first saw them, I was like, do I really need these? Like, it doesn't seem super necessary. I can just draw little circles myself. And now that I have them, I was like, no, this is a staple in my collection. I am very pleased to have them as part of it. You kind of think about it in terms of like I'm in the throes of decluttering, right? Trying to organize my office, and one of the hardest areas I find to declutter are pens. So one of the questions I've been asking myself is if my house burnt down, knock on wood, we don't want that to happen, but if my house burnt down, would I replace this? Like would I re-spend the money to acquire these materials? And when it comes to the dot markers, I would definitely re-spend the money to get dot markers because I love them. We're gonna get some blackout paper so we can see how they look on that. Yeah. Where is my paper? Somewhere in this drawer. That's a very large piece of blackout paper. Can we find a smaller one? Because the big pieces are really good for larger pieces of work. So, my little baggie for my blackout paper. Let's see. Oh, a loyalty scheme. I don't know which company you're talking about, but that's quite exciting. We love a loyalty scheme. Let's see. So, I'm gonna go with this one here, and we're just gonna do the dots in particular. So red dot and yellow dot. So hopefully you can genuinely see that they do show up quite nicely against that paper. Let's see, can I show it to you better? Probably. We'll zoom in at the end. And by zoom in, I mean I'll just hold it close to the camera. But there we go. And the silver one looks cute. Gorgeous. I'm a bit of a sucker for a rainbow though, so like maybe a little biased towards that. But we'll zoom you in. You can hopefully also see that they do take a second to dry. So those ones on the blackout paper still have a section that has kind of like wet ink, but so cute. And the nice part is, because they show up on blackout paper and you can get that really good contrast, then you can use them in those types of layouts and feel quite pleased with yourself. I think in particular, I used the yellow one in my current journal setup. I'm going to grab it out because you guys know I'm not really a fan of gel pens. Gel pens and we have an interesting relationship. So I don't typically use them. But I did use these ones, the dot markers, bullet end here to write out what the what days of the week are, so that they actually show up on the blackout paper, which is quite decent. Alrighty, I want to know what this thing is like. What I'm not paying £15 of shipping for a free product. No, which company are we talking about? Roast them. Okay, you don't have to roast them, but I am just very curious. Ferris wheel press. Interesting. I haven't shopped with Ferris wheel press before. I know that my peers, or some of my peers, do have like affiliate codes with them and stuff, and do kind of like ink, I don't know, promos and stuff. But I don't have like a major need for having a lot of inks. I will say that Ferris wheel presses ink bottles, very cute, but I don't really have a lot of need to have a lot of ink, so I don't have a lot of ink. I want to save this blackout paper because I am a hoarder, and it's still good on one side and you can't see through to the other side, so I'm just going to keep this piece and put it back into my little bag, making sure that that is dry because I don't want to smear the ink everywhere. Looks excellent. So the ones that we haven't tested so far are in particular the black pens that I got. So I was like, oh no, I've lost the packaging for Rachel's pens. No, these are mine. Hers are safe and sound. But I do need to find my pencil case for them. Let's see. Most of your inks are from Cult Pens. Interesting. You just wanted the £15 coupon. See, The one that gets me, right, are the brands that give you a discount code or, like, a coupon code or something that's like, "Save $20" or something like that if you pay or place an order that is $100. I'm like, "No, no, 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 just give me the $20." And I know it's like, you shouldn't be all persnickety and blah, 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 but it just always feels like if you're gonna put a requirement on me using your coupon, then your coupon is in bad faith. Boo hiss. It's like, "Save 10%, but only once you spend this much." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. That's not how I roll. That's not how we roll in the Shire." But anywho, in terms of other pens though, as said, we also have some black ones. So we have the Mark-On, which I'm not gonna open, but I've already kind of shown you because it's the one that I'm currently using. So check out any of my recent journal videos to see this pen in action. Love it. And then we have these two, which I haven't used before, so we are going to open them up and have a cheeky little gander. Have a little look at it. Need to take the nubbin off. Aggressive, aggressive. Did I actually get the full nubbin off? No, it broke. Yeah. Ow, 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 said the pen. It's very stuck on there, so that's one mark against you, pen. That's how we roll in the Shire. Should have been on your list of most used. Yeah, it definitely should. I can't remember. I was thinking of another one the other day that I use quite often, but I can't now remember what it is. It's the kind of thing that I notice it in the moment. Like when I'm saying it, I go like, "Oh, you say that a lot," and then I forget what it was, and I don't think to write it down. But let's see. Hello. Hello is the go-to word. Okay, when you guys test pens, what's your go-to thing that you write? Is it your name? Is it hello? Is it a certain like phrase? But I find that hello is usually my go-to, mainly because I just like the way that cursive H looks. This is a nice pen. This is the Zebra Sarasa Speedy. I don't know. It doesn't smudge, but maybe I wasn't speedy enough. Let's see. Speedy. 1, 2. Ah, that's excellent. Yeah, once upon a time. Nice. Let's see. You just do scribbles, sometimes just test. Yeah, that's a good one. Hello world. Yes, let's see. Just test or I am a pen. Nice. At least it's self-aware. Depends, but usually hello. Evil chuckle. But it doesn't smudge. I'm very impressed with that. It says this one, okay. Yeah, I know it's supposed to be like, oh, the grip is so wonderful, and what I don't care. The black of the pen is nice. That makes me happy. Let's see. Happy, happy. Ah, this is excellent. I'm not a left-handed person, but I feel like the Zebra Sarasa dry pens and the Sarasa Speedy and such, like these are the kind of pens that I think that left-handed people would get a kick out of because they don't. And this is coated paper as well, so it takes a little longer to dry than other pens. That's pretty damn decent. I'm quite impressed with those. I'll probably continue to use those ones. But as said, there was one tool that I was quite excited about, and I hope it lives up to my own personal hype. But this one is a gyro cutter, and the idea is that you can cut your page in different directions and such because if we take the end of this off, hopefully you can see that it has a meh. There we go. I can do this. An aggressive looking blade that rotates, like swivels. So as you move it across the page, in theory, it will just like come with you. It rather than trying to use a craft knife like this, which does not have a moving blade, very sharp. But it means that when you cut with this one, you have to be like, either pressing against the blade tip and stuff like that means that the blade tip can like snap, which only happened once to me, but it only has to happen once. This one is the idea that like as you move it, it just like swivels on the head so that then you can cut out different shapes. So I feel like I need a cutting mat to test this. Because as fun as it would be to hack up my desk, it wouldn't be. So let's go get a piece of paper here. And by piece of paper, ew, I mean a large craft mat. Let's see. So, one from Amazon you didn't like as much. Let's see. Yeah, the humongous. I'm getting used to it. Hump mongers. Yeah. I'm interested to see how this goes. I'm going to put this here. It is that kind of thing that probably takes some getting used to. Uh, eh. So you probably also have to hold the paper so it stays steady. Wee, wee. Okay. I also haven't pressed very hard because I was kind of worried that I was going to do murders on my page. So I probably have to press a little harder as well. Typo killed me on that one. Let's see. Don't believe Jess uses HP. Bullet journaling, yes, I may be wrong. I do not use a happy planner, if that's what you mean. But if you're talking about an HP, like in terms of a printer, I also don't use it because HP printers suck. Or at least I have found that HP printers suck. Anyways, so we'll do this with a little bit more vigor, a little bit more aggression. So I've managed to cut there. I wonder how this would go with something like PET tape, though, because that's kind of part of the reason why I purchased it. Because, well, one, for Dutch doors where you like stick some paper down and stuff and you want it to be kind of like cut out around it, I thought this would be a little bit easier to use. Whee! I'm just going to put a whole bunch of cut lines in this. But you do have to press harder than I'm used to. Because my craft knife is so sharp, I'm used to not having to press quite as hard as I usually do. We're going to try this one on a PET tape though. I do appreciate that it. There we go. Eee, little wave. So we'll put this guy to the side. Actually, before we put this one to the side, we're going to flip it over. I'm going to stick a piece of PET tape down first, and then we're going to see if I can cut out around the outside. I'm going to go find a piece of PET tape that I don't mind using, though, because I'm a little bit precious with my PET tape. Just a tad. So this one is just a bag of offcuts from when I've done some kind of journal video. You thought it was one of those calligraphy pens. Yeah, no, it kind of looks like one of those ones that like they kind of hold at an angle and whatnot. Let's take this sticker off. I don't want it to be sticky residue though. Okay, only a little bit of sticky residue. I can survive with that. I'll figure that out at a later date. Stick, yuck. What is PET tape? So PET tape is the type of tape that's on that kind of plasticky backing. Looks like this. So shiny. And that's because it is literally a type of plastic. So we're going to stick some of this down the side of the page and see if I can't cut around it. Yeah. Need to actually get it up off of itself, though. That's part of the initial struggle. It's not that bad, but it is still something. There we go. Put that there. So this would be the kind of thing that I would do for a decorative kind of border on my page where you stick down a strip or a series of different pieces of the PET designs and make a kind of border that runs from one end of the page to the other. And when it comes to cutting out around these as part of a Dutch door, I like to be able to cut quite close to the design, but it can be kind of hard to do that with regular scissors or with something like a typical cutting tool, if that makes sense. So if we're thinking about something like these, I mean, I can get fairly close to things with this. These are great scissors. They are not part of today's video, really, but they are just great scissors. But in terms of cutting out around the designs, when you're trying to cut a Dutch door off, it can still be kind of tricky with these. If you're using something like a craft knife, which, is the go-to for most of my cutting desires, it can still be quite tricky because, like, you don't have very good movability in terms of getting around the individual designs, which is what I thought this would be good for. So once you've got your little design panel down, you've got your bits and pieces, which, like, we're just going to pretend that there's something at the top there. It doesn't actually need to have anything, right? I can't not pretend. Like, we're going to put something there. But once you've got your decorative design, then you can go and cut out around it. I want to see how well this does to maneuver between the pieces. So put this guy down. We have to remember that we actually have to press kind of hard here. I feel like I need something to stick this down, though, because it pulls up otherwise. So I'm just going to stick that side down with some tape, just because like I'm using quite thin notebook paper. It will have a tendency to pull up. There we go. Just stick that down so that then it doesn't try to run away. Stay there. Is this part necessary? Probably not, but for the sake of doing an easier job of this, maybe. So we're gonna attempt. Okay, with the proviso, I haven't done this before. I'm trying. Yes, these are Fiskars, and they are damn excellent scissors. We'll put those to the side. So let's see. Oh god. I can feel that cutting over the PET tape specifically is a little bit tricky. I still don't feel very good about maneuvering back and forward, but it's probably one of those things that you get better at it with practice. Like most things, funnily enough. I'm pressing really hard with this, which is probably also making the maneuverability of it quite challenging to achieve. But at least it's giving me like a smooth line, as opposed to if I did this with, you know, regular scissors or a regular craft knife, where I would probably not end up with quite a smooth line. Now, did I cut enough to actually pull it away from itself? It looks kind of messy. Not gonna lie, probably requires a little bit more practice, but it's not too bad. I never get that knife. I'd be a klutz and have enough scars. Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, it's kind of sharp. It's not like so sharp that I'm gonna injure myself. That hurt. Shouldn't have done that. I mean, all of that was a very sensible idea. It's kind of quite large blade. Like if I did this with my regular craft knife, which is obviously a lot thinner and sharper, no, that would be a terrible idea. We don't do that. This one though, because it is kind of like sharper on the end, but very quickly becomes more wide, I suppose. It has a blade like this as opposed to my craft knife, which has a blade like that, which is obviously a lot more stabby. But we can cut around things. I think that it has a harder time cutting through the PET tape than it does through the paper, which makes sense because the paper is thinner. But I find that because of the pressure I have to apply with this, it is going to take me a lot more practice to get used to. But it is still pretty cool. If you're not trying to cut out around specific designs, though, I think this would be really fun to make a kind of like beachy waves Dutch door type deal. So if we kind of pull this up, and I can show you what I mean. So on the, we're going to do 3 pages. 1, 2, 3. So on the final page of the Dutch door, you would cut it so that it's only got a little bit that is missing. Kind of like a, you know, a waterfall tab type deal. Whee! Cute. So we cut that piece off. And then for the next piece, we're going to cut it so that then it's not as far out. I can't do this with the other piece laying underneath it though, because I will cut through both of them, because I'm going to do this quite heavy-handedly. But we'll cut it so that then it's like this part. And because you can do gentler curves with it, you can end up looking like a little kind of stacked wave looking moment. So that's the second page, and then the first page, which will be the thinnest one. And we can do wee little kind of beachy moment. And then hopefully you can kind of see that you get these 3 doors that are on top of each other. You can't, so we're going to go and highlight them with a pen. So I'm going to do a dark blue on the first one. So this can be like further out for the beachy waves. I don't know if you can hear the sound of my pen, people, but they are certainly making a good squeaking time. Here we go. So that's the first one. And then the second one would be like a medium blue. That'd be kind of fun. So we'll do this one. This can be our medium blue. And I mean, you could just do this with scissors as well, but like, where's the fun in that? We just got a new tool. There we go. And then the last one would be a kind of like pale icy blue type deal. There we go. So I'd put that there just to highlight those very cute looking Dutch doors that we now have on our page. Beautiful. Make sure it's all done. So you'd like have this like kind of little wave looking moment. I think that would be a lot of fun. So yeah, the first one would be quite narrow, so you could just put like a little list on there, and then the second one's a little bit wider, and then the last one's wider again, and they all have this little like wave moment, which is cool. What are the numbers of these blue pens? That one was 535, followed by 515, personal favorite, and the last one was 451. So 535, 515, 451. Put those ones back in their correct tidy holes because we love to have a tidy space. Not that we often achieve it, but we like it when it's tidy. So I think that's pretty cute. I mean, like, this is going to take some time getting used to. I don't know how often I'm going to use it, but we're going to try and see if I can cut out a piece of PET tape with it, in particular one on a roll. So we'll shove that to the side, put our offcuts somewhere else. Maybe the recycling bin. Haha, tidy kiwi. And we're going to try it on... Oh, I want one that's because these ones have designs that are very tight packed together, so the chances of me stuffing things up, pretty likely. Let's put that aside. We're going to do the coffee one instead. Now, I will say that I gave a stretch of this to my good friend Monica so that she could do a coffee theme in her journal. And I did not realize how thin the backing of this was. It is so hard to get this one off. Like, you know, regular, I'm going to call this regular quote, quote, PET tape. Getting these ones off, it's usually like, there we go, done in one. Really not too hard. This one, struggle bus city. Oh my gosh. And it's just because the backing tape, or like the backing plastic, I suppose, on this one is a lot thinner. So getting the design off that backing plastic, it doesn't have the rigidity that you kind of need to make it like super easy. But anywho, we are going to cut out this little drink, or at least attempt to. Like, I think I'm lazy, but the PET tape feels like the manufacturer wanted to save money and make us cut out the stickers for them. Like, completely fair. I do appreciate now that the washi tape shop has started to make PET stickers rather than just the tapes. Okay, so I'm attempting to cut this one out. I have managed to pick up a piece of plastic and rip it off, which is not necessarily what I wanted to do, but I'm trying here. Whee! Take your time, be careful with this, rotate your tape if you need to, because that's probably the easiest way to do this. Did I manage to get that off? Let's see. I would just try to cut out the little whatever this is design. No, it was so close to perfect. You do have to make sure that you maintain a consistent pressure because the PET itself is quite delicate, which means that I have totally pulled through part of the design here, but I'm still pretty impressed. I managed to get some of it off. Maybe you can see. I've ripped his little bean, his little chocolate stick or whatever. It's still cute. I'm still going to use it. I'm going to go stick this in my journal now before I don't have a place for it. There we go. We'll open that up to where we're kind of currently at. We'll just stick it down here. We can have two on this one. I realize you cannot see what I'm doing. There you go. There we go. It's fine. I mean, it's not perfect. And I think that with the PET tape designs, depending on which one you get, it's probably going to be easier or harder to cut things out. Like, certain shapes are going to just be kind of more straightforward, but you do have to try and apply fairly consistent pressure. Otherwise, what will happen, similar to what I had, is that you'll go to peel it up and the tape will just rip through because it can't get like, it can't pull away from the part where you've cut it. So that's kind of what happened here with the little piece that got left over. No me gusta, sad face. But I'm still pretty impressed. I do think I'm going to need to practice with this though, because I will also say that, like, depending on the thickness of the PET tape, when I curl back in certain directions, the PET tape pulls off the backing rather than just being cut through. So that could be something to do with like the sharpness of my blade or the kind of like delicateness of the tape itself. Like there are a lot of factors that would probably come into this, but I could be talking schmack, of course. Like said, haven't used one of these before. And it's probably super easy to see what I'm doing, right? No, probably not. But I think I've managed to cut out around that design fairly well. I mean, it felt okay. Can I actually get it off the paper? No. Oh dear. I also got rid of all of my nails recently, so that's been a fun predicament as well. Yeah, I can feel that that part hasn't cut properly and it's already starting to rip through, which is not very easy to see. But let's see, do you still have PET tape in your bucket that you can practice on? Yes, I probably do. I probably should practice on that instead of this, right? Because this is something that I'm actually going to be using. Yeah, I've never found to use the tweezers to get it off the backing paper all that easy. I usually just rely on the idea of taking your finger, curling it along the edge, and then it sticks to your finger and you can get it off. But that's been very difficult on this one because that backing plastic is less rigid. But oh well. I mean, it's a very first world problem, but it is a problem that I suffer with nonetheless. So let's see. Which one of the items in the Stationery Pal box in particular, though, were you like, ooh, I want that. I'd be interested in getting that. Those ones in particular, I've tried to link as separate items down in the description box just because it's a bit more eclectic. You know, the Hubman and Chop Girl, it's like that's like a bundle set. And, the notebooks from Typhosi or Artranol, they're like just, you know, notebooks. You go and browse the collection. But these ones, especially considering how many items there are at Stationery Pal, it can be a little bit harder to find the specific ones we've looked at. Let's see, we've got the Sarasa pens are the favorite. Fair. I'm very excited to add those to my collection and put them in my swatches. In fact, we should probably do that. The pastel highlighters were cute. They are pretty cute, right? I was impressed with those. I'm a giant hater, but like, um but I think that that one was quite impressive. Let's see. Yeah, the Sarasa pens, very much a favorite. The Zebra Speedy was also one I was impressed with because oftentimes when something says it's fast drying, I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. How fast drying are you really, buddy? But that one was pretty good. All right, so we're gonna add those Zebra Sarasas to my swatch book. If you're just meeting this guy, hi, this is my long-term collections journal. It's where I put long-term collections, in particular things like swatch pages and stuff. It's like reference material that I don't want to have to set up time and time again with each new journal. So I just put them in here. And in the back in particular, that is where I keep my swatches. Now, acrylographs. I'm almost tempted to remake this journal because there are pen sets in here that I no longer have, like the acrylographs. But we're gonna flip to where I just put all of my zebra pens together because I thought it was just going to be easier. And I've got my vintage Sarasa space down the bottom here. So in terms of which color is which, so we've got red, black, dark blue, green, black. What colors are in this set? I know it says on the website, so I might have to go check on the website. Which, good luck other drivers, because oh my gosh, there's so much stuff all over my desk now that I cannot find what I'm looking for. I'm glad that you like the journal. He's a good egg. Let's go see. So, in terms of finding the link, I'm literally going to my live stream right now so that I can find the link to the pens because it's just a little easier. So, vintage Sarasa, blah blah blah. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. All right, copy and paste. Because on the listing it tells me what colors there are in this set, so I know which ones I'm looking at. So this set has the brown grey, the dark blue, the red black, the blue grey, and the green black. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this guy is probably the red black. So we can color red black in. Just considering there are no other reds in the pack. Like no other names that suggest redness in the pack, and this one is definitely red. So that's good. Got that one. And then we have dark blue, and a blue gray. Dark blue and a blue gray. And of course, they don't show me what the freaking difference is. Rah! Okay, we'll do the green black then, because that one's pretty obvious as to which one it is. It's a green black. So that one will go here. Oh, such a beautiful color. But yeah, I just decided to put all of my zebra ones together because usually what I do for my swatches is I would write the title of the page as the type of pen they are. So for instance, like these guys are calligraph pens. It's not like this is like Archer and Olive pens and then I've got calligraphs. It's like these are just calligraphs. But because I have so many different sets with zebra, I was like, okay, well, we could have a click art page, and that's effectively what this is. But I've also got like the Sarasa Dries and the Doodlers Glitter and the Mild Liner Mix. So I'm like, I'll just put them together. It's just a little easier. So this one will be the brown one. Let's see. They're in order. Oh no. Really? Okay. Does that no, they can't be though, because it said brown gray first, and the first one that I had was blue, dark blue. So this is brown gray. I don't know. Maybe I'm confusioned. I also wonder about the blue gray because I know that one of these was a double up anyways. So maybe that means that the one that I haven't colored in is the dark blue. Because the other two that I got were the ones that I didn't have. So I effectively had everything in this set except for, or rather I had one in this set, which would be this one because that's the most familiar, which means that this one must be the dark blue. Or at least that's what I'm putting it down as. I mean, if I'm wrong, the only person who's going to have a sad time about it is probably me. So, in terms of impact to the world, it's not the worst thing ever if I get my labels the wrong way around. And also, it's the kind of thing that, like, if I do discover at some point in time that I have labeled these incorrectly, I'll just stick a piece of paper over it and fix the label. No harm, no foul. All is good. Pretty cute. So, so let's see. Will you show us the Crayola color pencil swatches when you're done? I don't have the color pencils from Crayola, but I do have the what are they called? The super tips. So this is my super tip swatch. They don't come with numbers though, so I just numbered them myself. So when I first got the 100 box set, I effectively just went through from one corner down to the other one and just gave them a number myself. I stuck a little piece of paper on it to say what the number was so that then when I go to use them, I at least know which color is which. That does mean that if you number your pens, they might not be exactly the same as mine, but it's kind of helpful. So got those ones there, looking kind of cute. Then it's sepia black and dark gray, which I assume that this one is the sepia black because it is, I don't know, it looks right. It fits the bill. So we're going to put that there. And then in terms of the dark gray, well, the dark gray one doesn't look like a sepia black. So now I have actually already stuck a piece of paper over the top of this one because I remember when I came to swatch out the other pens I have, I swatched that one in the wrong place. I put something completely wrong there. But that looks pretty cute. And they're in the two kind of color sets because you can buy these as 2 packs of 5. I don't know if you can actually buy a 10-pack set. At least you can't buy a 10-pack set that I could find on Stationery Pal. But yay! My set is complete. How exciting! I'm very much a completionist when it comes to my pens. I want to have the full sets, so that's why I was like, I need to get those ones. What are the acrylographs and calligraphs? So calligraphs are calligraphy pens, so like Callio, yeah. And they are from Archer and Olive. So they come out with a new colorway of those or a new color set every release, pretty much. So these ones in particular were from their summer release. Later this week, they're having a fall autumn release. So I'm very excited about those coming out because the color palette on that looks pretty. Whereas the acrylographs are paint pens. I used to have these. I used to be a pretty diehard collector of those. And then I was like, girl, you don't use them. And because I am that kind of person who likes to be a completionist, who really likes to have a full set, I was like, we need to get rid of these. Otherwise, you are going to keep collecting them because you don't use them. So I have since, gotten my acrylographs out of my collection. Some very lucky person got literally, like, $1,000 of acrylograph pens for, like, 70 bucks because I was just like, I'm pricing these to go kind of a thing, like, I just need them out of my house. So they got, like, a huge collection of those for a very discounted rate. Good for them. Did I see today's leather ones? I have not had a look at the spoilers that have come out, but in terms of the designs, I think my most favorite one, I think it hasn't been released yet. I the one that I like the most in terms of the cover designs. Uh, I don't wanna give spoilers or anything like that, especially because I don't want them to kick me off the team. Da-na-na-na. But I think that the ones you guys have seen so far have been, like, the photo frames, the owl and the acorns, possibly? I hope I'm not talking schmack, but the one in particular that I like the most and the one that I kind of like I oddly foresee as being one of the more popular ones, it's still coming. We'll see what happens though. Let's see. So, in summary, because we've had a look at all of these goodies together today, uh, I have too much stationery. Watch out from some goodways. Wow, doing well. Obviously, haven't had enough cola this morning. We are going to have some giveaways. Make sure that you enter them. In particular, the one that we're going to have on both the channel and Instagram today is going to be for Typhosi. So if you are on the hunt for a new notebook and you want it for free, then you should make sure that you enter that. To enter that, though, you do have to be a subscriber. So, check right now. Are you subscribed? Make sure that you're part of the team, even if it's not the team with a capital T. I am gonna go and tidy up my desk. Oh my gosh. It is a mess. There's just stuff everywhere. Thank you for joining me. If you wanna check out some more of our, haul-related content, then that one's on screen here. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.